showered look. I saw it when I both got showers. And I wanted to come on here and expand a lot, I don't know, we'll see, on the video that I left about my hug army. And how I'm coming to this conclusion, what exactly I mean by it, a deep dive into fear and judgment and all the things. So here we go. And again, I'm new at this. And by this, I mean speaking my truth, speaking my beliefs, speaking my opinions. And we're going to do this while driving because that seems to be my favorite time to just chat and share versus sitting still. I think I get too in my head and too nervous just sitting still. Versus driving has always been very meditative for me. So when I'm driving, I'm able to connect more to my inner self, to my inner guidance. And so this conversation has been playing itself in my head for the last day or so. And I want to preface it by saying that I believe, the video of my actual NDE, and when I say actual, I mean the moment that I transitioned on, and then the moment I came back, and then the moment after that when I got the download that I needed to have my implants removed. And that's a whole nother video in itself. Was it the actual implants? Was it the thoughts and feelings and beliefs that went along with the implants? Whole nother video topic. But I have shared my NDE story with people now along the way, along my journey. Mostly by that I mean medical providers. When I say that, I mean like my midwife and my doula and stuff like that. I haven't shared my actual NDE and everything that I went through from start to finish here. So that video will come, I promise. But when I came back, I had certain downloads, certain messages in my head that had not been with me before. They're so subtle that you just think they were always with you. You don't realize that they weren't always with you until you really consciously think about I didn't used to see that. I didn't used to feel that way. I didn't used to feel that way. And the three main ones that I got were: we are all one, we are all connected, and we are all love. And I do recognize that our ego is our gift. It is a gift that we are given to make discernment, judgment, to have opinions, to have our own individual truth. And a whole nother video, but I'll just briefly touch on it, that truth is subjective. And I think I've always known this. Example, we think research is the tell-all. Well, I'm a doctor. I've been exposed to plenty of research true and the other one not. They're both true. Just one is true for that group of scientists and observers and the people that choose to believe it, and the other one is true for that group of scientists and observers and people that choose to believe it. And that came to me back when, so being a doctor of physical therapy, you're taught rest, ice compression, elevation. When there's an injury, rest, ice compression, elevation. And so being in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world, which I, if you do not know, am a purple belt. I am a purple belt. My purple belt was actually technically given to me by Paul Nava, who is a student of Gustavo Dantes. And most recently, that is who my instructor has been, is Gustavo Dantes. I've always considered myself a student of his. I have trained there. I started with another instructor named Paul Nava, who is a black belt under Gustavo Dantes. And so being in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community, there's a lot of injuries, right? A lot of physical injuries. And they would all immediately ice, right? Like that's what they knew, that's what they were told, that's what they would do to help get down the swelling. And then all of a sudden, all this research came out in baseball players that said ice is bad. Ice actually stints your healing. It delays it. It prolongs it. It prevents the good, healthy blood flow from getting to the area. Is that true? Oh, I can definitely see how that would be accurate. And all of a sudden, all of my jiu-jitsu athletes would come to me freaking out. Oh my God, I've been icing. Have I been doing damage this whole time? Should I not have been icing? And somehow I was very calmly able to say, look, Josh, look, BGB, look, Aaron, look, whoever it is that's coming to me. You applied ice. You have an injury, or you had an injury, you applied ice. Did it feel good when you did so? Well, yeah, but then do it. If it feels good, then do it. If you're like me and you absolutely hate ice and you hate the way the ice feels 99% of the time, hell no, I don't want to put ice on it, and I'm going to run with that research and go, actually, heat is better. Because I prefer heat, and that's where I'm going with this. I prefer, and that's just a nicer word for saying I like heat, I don't like ice. And that is socially acceptable to say, right? And I was listening to an Anita Morzani video, and I love her. I just love her. I love her. I love Joe Dispenza. I soak them all up, and oh my God, those are examples of two people that really resonate with me. And Anita, especially because she is amazingly spiritual, and Joe, Dr. Joe, because he is a doctor of chiropractic. I'm a doctor of physical therapy. Now, in our world, sometimes they tend to clash and butt heads, and that's just ego talking, right? There are amazing physical therapists out there, amazing chiropractors out there, and, I think both are an amazing field. And, now, are you going to find ones that are not good? Yeah, and that's judgment, right? And that's exactly still where I'm going with this. So, in Anita's video, she says, and bear with me, because right now I'm easing you into this. Okay? We're gonna get cringeworthy. We're gonna get you kind of irky here in a few minutes. And when I say a few minutes, you know me, I talk a lot. It'll probably be longer than a few. So in Anita's video, she talks about how she hates hospitals. She hates them. And she found herself in a hospital. And again, completely and totally socially acceptable to say, right? Oh yeah, I totally understand how you can hate hospitals. Compassion, empathy, understanding. Now let's take it another step. Insects, spiders, snakes. We'll do reptiles too. And what are some other common then sometimes when people see ants, they step on them, they kill them, right? They're like, ugh, gross, ants, ugh, I hate ants. Spiders, oh my god, I hate spiders. And especially if it's in their house. Completely socially acceptable to kill a spider. Oh, here, I got one for you. Cockroaches. How completely and totally socially acceptable is it to stomp the crap out of that cockroach that came into your home? Black widows. Now, did that do anything to you to warrant that? Did it actually physically attack you? Okay, yes, I know you're gonna say, oh, but there's this story of this person who got bit by a black widow and then died. Okay. Well, there's also the story of the guy who was cliff diving and hit his head on a turtle and died. So now, are you going to be afraid of turtles? And in this example, actually, yes, the person who told me this is not necessarily afraid of turtles, but no longer cliff dives. And usually those things are reacting in fear, right? They're trying to protect themselves, and that's why we end up being bit. And then there's law of attraction, and that's just a whole nother story that I don't want to get into. So, a whole nother theory that I don't want to get into with this. But again, it is socially acceptable to say, ugh, I hate spiders. Ugh, I hate cockroaches. Ugh, they're so gross. I hate them. Oh, flies. Did you know that apparently people believe that flies throw up on you when they land? So then people think flies are disgusting because they throw up. Is that true? They believe it's true, so okay. And because of that, they're disgusted by it. Now, what about, and again, this is just an example, so it may or may not pertain to you. Eggs, raw eggs. Oh, by the way, how many examples are there of on Instagram, the guy who like puts the cockroach in his mouth and lets it hang out in his mouth, and then you see it come out of his mouth, or the ones that hold the tarantulas, or the bee lady. Oh my god, you know, and it's because she does not have the fear of it, right? And she just scoops up the bees, and she just moves their hives to a safe place, and she just scoops them up with her bare hands, and oh my god, she is literally my hero. And I'm sure if I looked it up, I'm sure I could find plenty of videos of people letting brown recluse and black widows and whatever else there is out there that's poisonous climb all over them. People that handle snakes, people that have snakes as pets, boa constrictors, pythons, things that can be, quote, deadly, and they're pets, and they're loved, and they're the people that pet sharks. And then there's, but yet it is socially acceptable to say that you hate sharks because you're scared of them. Raw eggs. Baking as a kid. My mom. Oh, you can't eat raw eggs. Oh, you can't eat the batter. It'll make you sick. Oh, you can't eat that. Somehow that one never resonated with me because, fuck, the batter tasted, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube. I guess we're gonna find out. Does anybody know? I don't actually know. Are you allowed to use words on, and again, that's judgment. Are you allowed to use those words on YouTube? I don't actually know. So, what else? Baking with my mom. She would, you know, you crack the egg in, you put it in, you stir it in the batter. Let's just say it's chocolate cupcakes, and you mix it up, and oh my god, it tasted so good. And my mom, oh, you can't eat that, it'll make you sick. Oh, raw eggs make you sick. Oh, you can't eat that. Okay. Never believed that one. Thank goodness I was never brainwashed into thinking that one was true, because I love batter. Batter is like often more delicious to me to eat than the actual baked product itself. We make waffles on the weekends, our Minnie or Mickey Mouse waffles, and half the time the kids and I just end up eating the batter, and then by the time we have the waffles in front of us, we're not that hungry for them. Same nutrients, just raw instead of cooked. And how many people out there now eat raw eggs for breakfast? Gaston, Beauty and the Beast. And they just crack open raw eggs, put them in a glass, and for their protein. Cool. Whatever works for you. And it's socially acceptable. I know I'm cringing, right? Because I don't like that. The idea of that, it does not taste good to me. That idea is gross to me. And that's okay, right? That's okay for me. It's okay for me to be grossed out and not like eggs. Again, socially acceptable. All right, ready for the cringe-worthy moment. People who are racist. And we're just going to go with a basic example of a white person hating a black person. I know you can have 1,000 other examples. That is fine. A-okay. Why is it not okay for that white person to hate black people? Oh, but it's because they're stereotyping all black people. Oh, it's because I hate all raw eggs. I have no desire to eat raw eggs. And I'm not going to answer this question. But why is it okay? And often it comes from, oh gosh, sorry, I had one more example that I didn't use that I really, really wanted to use, so I'm going to throw that one in there. Dogs. Okay, so a bee comes up and it's flying around, buzzing around, and some of us freak out, and some of us are like, oh, hi, what a beautiful bee. Oh, and it lands on you and you're like, oh, hi, hello, thank you. And some people swat at it. Oh my God, get away from me. That bee has not done anything yet to anybody. That specific bee. But yet some people swat at it. Oh, what a pretty purple car, sorry. And some people swat at it, and that's completely socially acceptable to swat at a bee. Whether that particular bee has done anything to you or not. Now, you're a white person and you're in the bar, and a black person comes up and sits next to you. We won't say swatting at them, because most of the time that's not socially acceptable, right? But say a black person comes and sits down next to a white person, and that white person doesn't like black people for whatever their reasons are, whether it was their conditioning, whether they actually had an incident. Oh gosh darn it, I got ADD again. Dogs, I wanted to use that example. A dog comes up to you. I love dogs. Dogs are so cute. I've never had a bad experience with a dog though, right? My parents like dogs. They had dogs as children. Therefore, I was raised, dogs are cute, dogs are friendly, dogs are fluffy. If a dog comes up to me, oh my goodness, you best bet I'm gonna get so excited, and I'm gonna pet that dog, and I'm gonna love up on that dog, and yes. And a lot of times I ask, can I pet your dog? But some people have been raised that dogs are gross. Their saliva is bad for you. That they've been bit by a dog. They've had a bad experience. So why is it that that's okay, right? Sometimes that's completely socially acceptable. We would never judge somebody for not liking a dog. And then there are the black person who comes up and sits next to a white person, and that white person has either been, conditioned that black people are bad, black people are whatever, just like eggs are bad, raw eggs are bad, or they're, maybe they had an incident where they were physically or emotionally harmed by a Black person. But yet it's not socially acceptable to maybe even get up and move away from that Black person or voice your dislike for Black people. So why is that judgment not okay, but all the other judgments are?